One of us is Rocky Mountain High. Let's step into the On Deck Circle.
You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's Casey Bubba, and it's you, and we are breaking down all things MLB DFS for you right here, courtesy of the LineStar app. Go out there to LineStarApp.com, go download that bad boy, go upgrade to the premium product, and get ready to start winning some money along with us. And if it sounds like I've got a little extra, hitch in my giddy up, a little extra hop in my step, it's because Framber Valdez, that's right, Framber Valdez, just 5% owned, nearly matched Garrett Cole in points on FanDuel last night. And Bubba, I got in, I'm getting out, I'm leaving on a high note. I told you once a year, maybe twice, I go down the Colorado road and everyone says you're crazy. And I'll tell you what, more often than not, I'm not. I got to tell you, it has worked. You have to be careful. You have to look for guys that have the low walk and the low hit rate and the good offense behind them that can support. And yes, he did walk the line, but you know what? He walked the line all the way to a W, and we get to have a little fun on the program today, Bubba.
Yeah, you do. You get to have a lot of fun on the program today, Joe. You get to have all the fun in the world. You Johnny Cashed that thing and you walked the line. It was beautiful. It was I was telling you before the show. Every time I checked the app, it was like runners on for the Rockies. Like, well, here it comes, Coors Field. Nope, gets out of it. I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna be a great show. And then you just had to tweet me last night. Just had to tweet. Or this morning.
Actually, it was this morning. Yeah.
I woke up to a lovely tweet and was like, oh, here we go.
I didn't want to do it at night for you. You know, the time difference is I wanted to make sure it was the first thing you saw when you woke up in the morning. You're like, hey, how about that Framber Valdez there? Woo! And we said, look, and in all fairness, you know, I did say it yesterday. I said it's going to be an entertaining show one way or another. If he blows up, if he's great, either way, it's going to be fun. But on top of the only thing I didn't want was him to be mediocre. You know, like no decision, 5 innings, 2 runs, like whatever. Like that wouldn't have been fun at all. Like that's just kind of whatever, just stupid. But get the W, the quality start, everything feels good. Back-to-back days, boy. Kenta Maeda and Framber Valdez. We're rocking and rolling right here. Not bad. I would say pretty good.
We got an easy one tonight too.
Yeah, this one's a little easier. The tournament arms are a little I don't want to say dicey, but let's say dicey. There's a few that I'm going to stick my neck out on a guy tonight, and we'll see if it's right or wrong. But overall, you had the postponement yesterday with the Braves game, which hurt me because I had to go back and like fix some things and stuff like
everybody. That was such a game to attack, and that sucked.
Yeah, it really did. It was just bad news, and you kind of looked up like, no, don't take that away from me. Why are you doing that? It's really frustrating. But at any rate, we're going to fly around today and obviously recap all the scores and everything going on in Major League Baseball yesterday. But we want to remind everybody here, make sure you head over, to that LineStar app. Make sure if you enjoy the program too, and you're having fun, and obviously a lot of you are because you're listening to the program, you're tweeting at us. Make sure you go and subscribe to the podcast. Click on the notifications button so you know every time the new show drops, and give us a 5-star review. I mean, come on, we're winning you money. We're having fun. We're giving you laughs. We're giving you cash. What's better than that? So let's fly around yesterday. Randall Grichik. Oh, wait, he's still hot. 2 more home runs for him. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 5-2. The Phillies dropped to the Red Sox 6-3. And I'll tell you what, there's a Red Sox today that I got my eye on. Just goes to show you, you think Jake Arrieta's bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's Jake Arrieta will always show his true self. Alec Mills got the loss here to the Cardinals 9-3. He also had the Royals 4-0, beating up on Luis Castillo in that first game of the doubleheader. So Luis Castillo, it's funny because his FIP is better than his ERA. I think this is in season long, just throwing this out there. I know it's a DFS show. He could be an interesting buy low candidate right now. What do you think about that?
100% agree. He's just having a couple of questionable hits every game, it feels like. Then you mentioned the FIP, XFIP, all that. Kind of say he's getting a bit unlucky, if you want to call it that. I know some people frown upon that word, but the stuff is there. Like if you look at his swinging strike rates on his pitches and all that, it's all electric still. So he's just kind of in a little bad groove, and I think he's a very good buy low.
Yeah. Carpenter hits a grand slam here. Matt Carpenter belted a grand slam, and St. Louis beat the Cubs 9-3 in game one. But in the second game, Cubs came back and beat the Cardinals, and Craig Kimbrell got a save, if you could believe that. The Rays beat the Yankees. That's right. Garrett Cole. How can he not beat the Rays? Oh, my goodness. But it happened. And, we were definitely, it's funny because we talked about, it's crazy. They look like the best pitcher on the slate. Anything can happen, but that DeGrom and Cole are always good enough to put up good performances. That wins are, you like the wins, but if they, God forbid, don't get the win, they should have strikeout totals. And neither one of those guys got the win yesterday. Although the Mets did win their game respectively. Savali did get the W 6-1 complete game gem there from Aaron Savali. So. We should have been more on that. We were kind of lukewarm on it. I think we had road burn from Carrasco the night before. Still, I know at least I did. But Savali continues to kind of really impress here when you talk about these Indians pitchers here. Bieber's on the hill tonight, but Savali is still that guy. That it's kind of like the Zach Gallen start early in the week. Like you want to just keep seeing it be great, and as long as he keeps being great, then I'm okay with continuing to pay a premium for him.
Yeah, that was the weird part because earlier in the year he was cheaper. So much easier to just throw him in the lineup. Now he's up there with the big boys. That's kind of what we were talking about yesterday. It's, do we want to just go here or pay a little more for this guy? Like Lance Lynn's a little cheaper. And then he just proved us, yes, you pay for him because he's that good. If the Indians just keep producing these pitchers that can do it time and time again.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Matt Harvey took the loss in his 2020 debut against Trevor Bauer, 5-0 there.
Shocker.
In that second game. Their double dip. We also had the Brewers pound up on the Twins 9-3. Yelich hit a home run. So everybody screaming about how, Yelich and blah, blah, blah. 4 home runs on the night for them. Keston Hiura, who actually had my lineups yesterday, also went yard. So good job, Keston Hiura. He continues to be, he's one of these guys who's always sitting in the low threes, and every day he's like a good play. Like the dude just hits. We already talked about the Astros 13-6 victory over the Rockies, so we don't have to talk too much more about that.
Who pitched? Who got the starting pitcher?
I think it was. Was it? It was Framber Valdez. That's right.
Oh,
that's
that's right. You mentioned him yesterday. That's right.
Lance Lynn did not get the victory here. The Padres ended up winning 6-3 in this one, so this one went to 10 innings. You also had the A's bounce back and beat up the Diamondbacks 4-1 in this one. Marcana hit a 2-run home run. And Robbie Grossman, keep hitting the baseball, 2-run double. Give me all the Robbie Grossman I can handle. Yeah, I mean, it's just been good. And the Mariners, for some reason, own the Dodgers. I can't explain this.
It's so funny.
It's hysterical. I know
I love tilted Dodgers Twitter because all I said was the Mariners are giving Dodgers headaches this week, and I had like 4 people that don't even follow me that are Dodgers fans, just like angry. It's so much fun.
Oh, and speaking of fun, to cap off Bubba's night, Johnny Cueto struck out 8 guys and beat the Angels. So how about that? I mean, anything is possible there from Johnny Cueto. So
2020.
I know, 2020. Matt Harvey started last night.
Yep.
Oh God, all kinds. So it's Thursday. It's a new day. Yes, it is. So let's get after it and let's talk a little bit about these day games. You have the Yankees and Rays, Paxton on the hill against John Curtis, who spells his name with 2 S's at the end, which is just weird. Spencer Howard against Chase Anderson. Howard's not been good so far. We got Spencer Turnbull and Giolito at 2, Christian Javier and Herman Marquez at 3, Vince Velasquez, Trent Thompson at 4. So, is this as easy as just saying, give me Giolito and then get all the bats in the Colorado Astros game? Or would you prefer Paxton at 7.9 and really load up into that other game? Because Paxton in the single pitcher side at 7.9 is certainly cheaper. He's almost, $2,000 cheaper than Giolito, but he is facing the Rays. And, Paxton, although he can be good, he can also come out after 3 innings with a blister and God knows what else. So where would you kind of put your money today? Or was one just a tournament guy and one's just a cash game guy?
I think I'm going to go Giolito just in that matchup with Detroit. The Rays can be sneaky good, and Paxton had that one good start, but I'm not buying into it. I think people will take more Paxton because of the value that you're mentioning there. But I'd go Giolito, pay for the pitching, pay for the good floor, great matchup versus the Tigers, and there's still plenty of bats. You can get cheap Tampa Bay bats if you want, or cheap Yankees bats that are always cheap for some reason, and then use some more White Sox because it's just the White Sox. All they do is hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be loading up on the left-handed Rockies bats today against Javier. You could even go to the top and get Hampson at the top of that order, 2 at 3-2, as long as he's in that order. Murphy at 3-2 on FanDuel, also a value. You actually have a lot of decent, I mean, considering, it's Colorado, you have obviously the premium on Story and Blackman and Arenado. They're all above 4K. But the only people above 4 are Springer and Bregman in the Astros lineup, which is kind of stunning. I mean, Marquez is good, but it's still a day game in Colorado. So I would just get in there and do a couple things with that. I don't mind the Paxton one. If you want to have the lineup that's got Arenado and Blackman and Story and all that, you want to go crazy. I'm actually okay with that, but I think Bubba's right in cash. I think you lean towards Giolito for sure and take care of that. Nothing else here on this board, right? I mean, we're fading away from the rest of the slate here. Like,
pretty much. But the one thing I will say, I'd rather have Marquez than Paxton in a GPP.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Here's another question, too. Do you want to Blue Jays are at home in Buffalo? Is that
stack them up?
Is that the other way to go, too, if you want to really get a little strange instead of like going too heavy into the Colorado contest? Maybe instead you go with the Phillies and the Blue Jays, get a little differential there, because it seems like that would not be a bad. I mean, Grichik's just 2.6 on FanDuel. That's pretty darn cheap. Teoscar Hernandez 3-2. Travis Shaw is at 2.5. So that's at the 4:00 game. I mean, I guess it all depends on. See, how are they working this in here? Do you get the 1:00 game, or do you have the 4:00 game in the day slate, or you get both? Like, how does this work?
I don't know what they're doing. Because then I pulled up the all-day slate, and it's not even on the all-day slate. But I know it's on a different slate, so who knows what slate it's on, because FanDuel's FanDuel. But
it doesn't matter, because none of the pitchers in either of these two games are any good. So either way, it all makes sense. So doesn't matter if it's the 1:00 pitchers and that's the one they're going to tabulate. Just go and get involved in this one, because Buffalo is proving. I mean, it's wind's not blowing out
of the East.
It's been pretty darn good so far. So, if you're looking to save a little money and get some offense, it's definitely something to target and look into. All right, all day slate on FanDuel. Seth Lugo against Daniel Castano. No, thank you. I'm going to pass on this one. Are you loading up on any bats here in particular on DK, or actually on FanDuel? Excuse me, because it's a 6:00. Sorry about that.
Yeah, DK doesn't like having fun. So
no, they don't like it. If your game doesn't start at 7, you can't play with us. You can't sit with us. It's like Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. What an underrated movie. Every kid should have to watch that movie.
I showed my daughters that movie actually last weekend. They loved it. They thought it was amazing.
I'm looking forward to showing my daughter that one someday, because I think it'll age so well still. It really will.
It's still hysterical, dude. Like, but we'll make fetch happen.
Go back to DFS. Yeah. So this game between the Mets and the Fish, I'm actually just going to fade it. Like, we like the lefties in the Mets lineup more. So, like, obviously a Pete Alonso, but I'm just not in on Pete Alonso still to this point. So I'm actually just going to kind of pass on this game.
All right.
JD
price
Davis,
variance. Price variance alert. Woo. Rafael Devers is 5.4 on DK. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Guess what he is on FanDuel? Did you see?
Nice, you know already? Cheap. Tasty goodness.
He's 2.8. Okay, bro.
Play him everywhere. Cash game lock.
Come on, just lock this bad boy in. It's just stupid. It's like when Gleyber Torres was 2.7. You just keep playing him. Then he had that 4-for-4 night. I mean, you have to. He's too good of a talent. If you want to, wake the sleeping dragon of JD Martinez a little bit and Bogarts to just go crazy against Wachikowski, okay. Like, I'm fine with that. And it's not like Eovaldi's any good too. So you can actually get involved in this game too. I like the over in this one. We're sitting at I think 9.5 on this game. So I would go over. Any other thoughts or specific guys on this one for you, Bubba?
Yeah, I'm game stacking this one big time. I love this one on DraftKings. You can actually get value with the Orioles. Santander at 43 is actually still too cheap for what he's doing. 34 on FanDuel. It's not bad, but it's steeper on FanDuel.
He's been terrific. He was terrific last year.
Nonstop good.
And we I remember Chris and I on the show last year, we had him all the time. He was like 2.8, 2.9, and he's at the 3.4 now. But the dude continues to just be good from that 2-hole. And I'm with you, especially tonight when you don't have the Colorado game in play in the evening. This is definitely or the Buffalo game. This is definitely the game to be looking at.
This is the game to go to. Mitch Moreland's been on fire, but just stack. I love stacking this game however you want to put it together. But Devers is the best play. It's insane. He's 28 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I don't care how owned he is too. It's just do it.
All the chalk. I don't care.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of chalk, Shane Bieber's at 12K on FanDuel. Yikes against the Pirates, but he's only 10-6 on DK.
I don't understand that price on DK at all. It's like, if you're not paying Shane Bieber on DK, just don't play.
Yeah, why? Why wouldn't you be I don't understand. Like, Okay, let's ask we already know the answer is yes on DK. Like, it's just stupid.
Yes.
You play it wherever. And honestly, you might even play it in tournaments tonight because it's so good. So I
Yes,
guess
you do.
here's a question for you. What do you do with that 12K price on FanDuel?
It's trickier. I get it. He's still electric, but there's a guy that's $1,300 cheaper in a very good matchup that I might pivot to save money. That'd be Sonny Gray. So it's going to be a very interesting discussion because 12K is just so steep, especially if you want to stack up. Maybe you do go for some of the more expensive Orioles and Red Sox or whatever. It makes it difficult with Bieber. There's other value, obviously, but 12K is asking a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bubba. I think 12K is asking almost too much tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And look, that's even with guys like Rafi. Like, can you make it work? Yeah. You're going to need Devers. You're going to need guys like that. And there are
Robbie
enough
Grossman.
Well, yeah, Robbie Grossman. You might even have to go extend to the all day to make it work and get some of those Mets and Marlins bats too, because they're actually kind of underpriced, as we've been saying during the week. Yeah, I mean, you're still getting a little bit of a discount Lindor, but Cesar Hernandez is 2.7 if you want to go in that game too. It's just, Trevor Williams is, not a big strikeout guy, but he's also not the biggest home run guy either. Clayton Kershaw 10.1 against Kikuchi. You know what? The Mariners keep on beating up the Dodgers, and I got to ask you, like, at what point do we get scared off here? Like, I'm just curious because I'm definitely a little afraid right now of the Dodgers against the Mariners. I do not want them to play them anymore. Enough.
Yeah. On paper, they should just destroy Kikuchi, but on paper, they should have dominated the last 3 nights, and they haven't done that. So it's very confusing. And Kikuchi, I think he hasn't even allowed a barrel this season for those that keep track at home, which is very good. As bad as he's been, he's keeping the ball like in the ballpark. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm just going to sit back and watch. I know, and Betts at 44 and Turner's at 34. The guys you'd want in the lineup aren't super cheap. If you want to like punt with a Pollock or something, you can. But I'm just going to kind of stay away from this one because I'm with you. It's really weird what's going on with the Dodgers right now.
Yeah, and look, every team goes through this. They go through a funk, and sometimes good teams always, struggle with the weirdest opponents. This always happens in baseball. And the weird thing is on DraftKings, you're not getting a discount on anything. And if you're getting a discount, I'd be more apt to take it. But having to pay the premium price for the Dodgers right now against the Mariners, and look, that could very well change tonight. Okay, fine. Let it change on someone else's team. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to sleep much better. I can tell you that much. All right, so here we go. This is one you got to flip a coin on. And yes, this is a 4-outcome game, but I have a strong feeling about this one too. So I'm going to go with the Woodruff side against Barrios and the Twins tonight. Brewers are starting to hit a little bit. Hira, Yelich, and this is what I kept saying about those pitchers for the Brewers. I said, outside of Woodruff, until that lineup starts getting going a little bit, I'm a little hesitant. And now that lineup seems to be getting going a little bit, and Woodruff is just 8.1. I love that price. Barrios has been beatable. Woodruff is 8.4 on DK. Barrios is actually more. He's 9K. For me, Woodruff is that, again, low ownership tournament multi-entry play of the night where I just feel like he can get enough strikeouts here, because the bottom of this order from Marwin Gonzalez all the way down to Avila, there's some strikeouts here between Sano and Buxton and these guys. And I think that Woodruff is going to, as long as he can handle Cruz and Rosario, the rest of this lineup should be a piece of cake for him. I really believe that Woodruff is that good.
Yes, he is that good. I have no problem with that at all. It's just a matter of keeping some of those big bats in the ballpark, and he can do just fine. So I'm with you there. And I think the Brewers are one of the sneakier stacks of the night because they won't be as popular. Because, like you said, Barrios just isn't good right now. He's not, his velocity's not.
Well, and that's the other thing
not great.
too.
He's not locating nothing.
And it's kind of like the Castillo thing, like where Castillo hasn't been good, but if you dig in deeper to the numbers, it shows you, wow, he actually has been okay. He's just, like you said, a bit of bad luck, a bit of bad fielding, a bit of everything, a bad concoction of stuff. Whereas Barrios, when you dig in deeper, you're like, wow, he really hasn't been that good. And I don't know. I don't think turning it around against the Brewers is going to be the case tonight. Maybe it is, but I'm definitely willing to take that shot because Woodruff's K rate is exactly where it was last year. He's been outstanding. The bats are starting to heat up. I think this is a good situation here for Woodruff to go in. And again, everybody should be afraid of the Twins, but this is what tournament plays are all about. It's like Framber Valdez last night. Do you have the cojones to be smart different? And I think this is smart different. It's not just being different for the sake of being different or taking a guy, well, he's just 6K and look, it's Jesus Luzardo and he's really good. Yeah, he's really good. But he's going to go 4 innings. So what's that going to get you? Nothing. So, Brandon Woodruff is going to go 6 or 7 potentially if he's on that night. So who knows? Maybe even more as guys are starting to get stretched out. So for me, this is my big plant my flag. We'll see if I can do it 3 days in a row. It was Maeda and Valdez. Let's see, 3 in a row with Woodruff. Let's do it. I think we can make it work. I really do. Kyle Gibson against Dinelson Lamet at 9.4 over on FanDuel. Now, the DK side of this game, Lamet is just 8.5. Do you think there's going to be a lot of love for him tonight against Kyle Gibson and the Rangers?
There should be. I have love for him. Like if you can on DK do a great Bieber lineup and not be too bad off. But if you want to save some cash, Lamet at 85, I'm all aboard that. I think he's very much in play here. His strikeouts are consistently good. Texas's offense isn't great versus right-handed pitching, so I like Lamet a lot. I think he's even an interesting pivot in FanDuel, but DK for sure.
See, where I struggle is with Woodruff at the same cost. I'm getting a far better pitcher, granted with a tougher matchup. Granted, it's on the road. Like, I get all that. But at the same time, I feel like there's enough. And I'll tell you what, these guys are in the 8K range tonight in terms of pitchers. You can actually get, you could even team up Lamet and Woodruff if you really want to, get away from the Bieber thing tonight and Sonny Gray. And you might be able to get Tatis in your lineup at 5-1 against Kyle Gibson, who's, is Kyle Gibson last time I checked. And on FanDuel, he's 4.7. If you want to pay for Tatis, which I'm not against doing tonight. I'm just not. Like, he's been that good. He has, and at home against the Rangers, it's been very heated. I'm all in for that kind of stuff. Anything else here from this game that kind of catches your fancy?
Yeah, the lefties have smoked Gibson over the last 4 seasons, not just last season or this season. So Hosmer's cheap on DK, Grisham's 31 on DK, Cronenworth's 25 on DK. On FanDuel, Grisham's 3 and Cronenworth's 24. So if you want some cheap lefties versus Gibson, Padres have what you need.
What's your Cronenworth take so far?
I love the guy, and he's been consistent, double-digit fantasy points in 3 straight games. They keep running him out there. He gets more and more comfortable. A little bit of pop, really good average type guy. Gets on, scores in front of the big boys. I like Cronenworth a lot.
All right, I like Sonny Gray a lot, so I'm there with Bubba.
Yes.
10.7 to me, he's your lock guy in terms of cash games tonight over on the FanDuel and the single pitcher slate. Over on the other side, 9.5 on DK, you're getting a discount. And Adam Wainwright hasn't been the train wreck he's been in some others seasons past, but Sonny Gray's just been out of his mind. He's been so good, and to me, I'm just going to go that route. Once again, you look at the bottom of this order. Tyler O'Neill and the young Carlson and things like that. And you just kind of, I think that there's enough there where, Sonny Gray can go out there and still put up an 8K performance here in this one and get a W. They did lose Nick Senzel in this lineup too. So it's another loss there. But Jesse Winker continues to be cheap on DK. He's just 3.4 and he's sitting in the 3 spot. On FanDuel, he's just 2.7. Suarez is down to 2.7. Moustakas is 3. There's a lot of value tonight, Bubba, for the Reds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Winker on both sides. Like, he's a lock for me in cash. And then on DK, they're more expensive. Like, Moose is 48, but 3K on FanDuel, sign me up. Votto's cheap if you really want to get weird, but Suarez, Casty at 4K is a little pricey, but when you put the other guys with him, you can save the money. It's like stacking against Wainwright's not the most appealing thing, but for the value you're getting with the upside, especially just Moose and Winker by themselves, I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you take the two together, you take Winker and Suarez or Winker and Moustakas or Winker and Castellanos. Any of those guys, I mean, but obviously the Suarez and Moustakas at 3 and 2.7 respectively on FanDuel. It's almost too good to pass up. All right, are we trolling Sean Manaea again tonight? Because it feels like
always.
Okay.
It's not going to end.
So we got both Martes, Cattell at 3.5, Starling at 3.3, and I think we're going to be doing that. I think that's where I'm going with this one. Do you want to get in on the Escobar business at 2.7? He's starting to show a little life.
He's okay. I'd rather, if you're going to do the Marte Parte, which you should, I think Kristen Walker at 28 is appealing. Yeah. He's also cheap on DraftKings. Get that power right there in between, like right with the boys, hitting right in front of them. I get the Escobar love, but just go all Christian Walker for me. And then also 3K on DK, 24 on FanDuel. Nick Ahmed people need to go look at his about last 15 days. He is hitting everything and no one's talking about him. It's ridiculous how good he's playing.
That's a good one right there, because I don't even know if I realized that.
I got bored last night, went down a rabbit hole, and I was like, oh my goodness. and he crushes lefties like the last 3 or 4 years. So that's what made me look at it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, he's actually playing really, really good. So yes, Nick Ahmed.
All right, now with Nick Ahmed in this lineup on the other side, what about Oakland? Any love for any of these guys here against Alex Young?
Yeah, Alex Young's not great. They're 35 for Chapman. I could get behind what the value is. Like, Laureano's 31, he's 45 on DK. Simeon only 29, Grossman 29. It's like the Simeon Grossman combo. It stinks they don't hit next to each other in the order. That's nice value. And then obviously Kana and Piscotty. So I don't know if I'm going to pay up for the Chapman and Laureanos of the world. I'd rather get the value of Simeons, Grossmans, Kana, Piscotty, some kind of mixture there. And they're also kind of a value on DK as well.
All right, the last game here, we got the San Francisco Giants, Kevin Gausman against Jose Suarez. So Trout's all the way at 4.5. You know he's always going to be expensive on DraftKings. Obviously, more of the same, 6.2. If you want Mike Trout, you have to pay through the nose and basically, just a sort of layaway plan to get him in a roster. But anything from this one, too, because the total in this one somewhere around 8.5 or so. Is this one where sneaky offense late, people are not on this game, or is this maybe just a fadeaway? What's your opinion?
Gausman SP2 on DraftKings, $6,500. Zero problem with that in the GPP. So he's been actually very good. His swinging strike rate's up to 15% now that he's actually in the rotation. So he's pitching very well in that regards. And then the Giants, you can get value there and sneakily stack, especially even if you want some one-offs. Austin Slater leading off at 2,500. It's lefties very well. Wilmer Flores at 25 as well on FanDuel. And they're both reasonably priced on DraftKings.
All right, it's that time, boys and girls. It's time to call our shot. Bubba and I are going to pick somebody to go yard. And if you follow us over at the LineStar app on Twitter, you can retweet this segment and give us your home run call, and you can win some free swag. Everybody likes free stuff, so get involved in the fun. Bubba, why don't you go first today? Who's your pick to click? Who's leaving the ballpark going yard?
Oh, I get to go first today. I feel so honored in that regard, and I'm going with someone that's been just doing it time and time again, so eventually the other shoe's going to drop. But I'm going to go to Anthony Santander. I've had listeners call me out and say, you talk about him so much, why don't you use him as your home run call? I'm using him tonight against Eovaldi and Camden Yards.
All right, I'm going to stay in that same game, and I'm going to go with 2.8K on FanDuel, Rafael Devers. That's right. It's time. It's time to wake the beast. He is a great player. Not a good player. He's a great player. Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time before this guy gets red hot and reminds everybody. Like, we're talking like triple crown good. Like, that's how good this guy can be. So I like him tonight in Baltimore. So we'll see if we can get some fireworks in that game. So once again, go over to LineStar app on Twitter and LineStar MLB. Follow us and get involved. Win some free stuff. In the meantime, make sure you go subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We are everywhere. And you can follow us on Twitter as well, at Joe Pisapia 17, at KC Bubba. That'll do it for us today, but the story of the game goes on. For Bubba, I'm Joey P. There's nothing left to do now except step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and KC Bubba.